Well, I think it's safe to say we've turned a bit of a corner. Hello and welcome back to Careering Onwards with me, Mr. Grand 2, and Leicester City, which is where we are at and where it's looking really quite good for the rest of the season. We have been in pole position really for most of the season to secure promotion finally back to the Premier League after 3 years for the club in the Championship, and despite a bit of a sticky patch last episode, we have improved and we have at least now secured ourselves a playoff spot, and it's looking quite good for a little bit more than that as well. So obviously last time things weren't going particularly well. We'd lost 2 matches and then obviously ended up losing both games in that episode, going down to Barnsley and Aston Villa. Some pretty poor away form. It wasn't looking especially good, especially considering the run we'd been on before that, but since then we've definitely turned a corner. A couple of disappointing results, but overall you can't complain at all. Lots of wins on the board, and it's certainly helped, as has some dodgy results for our 2 promotion rivals, Aston Villa and Reading. We'll look at those in a second, or really actually as we go, because it's kind of a bit of a story. We started things off with another away game, our 3rd away game in a row, and given the fact that we had lost the previous 4, I wasn't particularly optimistic against Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, I was tense, I was nervous, I just thought it wasn't going to be our night, and that was especially the case when Liam Delap robbed Adam Webster and ran through and scored in the first minute. Not looking particularly good, but we did fight back. A deep free kick from Dennis Pratt, headed in by Kagla Soyuncu, and then 2 fantastic substitutions, if I don't say so myself. Oliver Skipp with a wonderful pass to set up Josh King for what was only his 4th goal of the season to give us the win in that one, and that really helped our confidence. There were some drop points from Reading, some drop points from Aston Villa as well, and then, well, a run of 3 home games and a run of 3 wins. A 2-0 win against Luton Town, first of all, Dennis Pratt and Francisco Trincao on the score sheet, and then what was probably the most pivotal day, potentially, of the run-in of the season, a 3-0 win against Middlesbrough, an excellent performance. Webster, Esposito and Blin with the goals. As we'll see in a second, both Aston Villa and Reading lost that day, which really helped us a lot. We then beat Hull 1-0. It was looking like a 0-0 draw. We got a penalty late on. Esposito, who was literally about to come off, scored it and gave us all 3 points. We then did have 2 0-0 draws in a row as teams shut up shop against us. Sunderland was a 0-0, as was Wigan. That was disappointing as it was at home, but then 2 away games in a row, and both of them were somehow wins. Brentford was heading for a 0-0 draw, which I would have been completely happy with, given our recent form away from home, but Francisco Trincao, who I dropped, came off the bench and got himself the winner on the 83rd minute. He was then involved again, getting the assist for Esposito as we beat Millwall 1-0 away from home as well. It leaves us in a situation where we've got 7 games left, more home games than away, and let's have a look at how the table has shaped up. 39 played, we are top. We have restored the gap that we basically threw away last time. It is now 8 points. We are clear of Aston Villa, and well, a further 5 back, so that's 13 in total, are Cardiff, who have beaten Reading in their most recent match. Reading's form has been pretty wretched recently, and they have overtaken Reading into 3rd place. We have secured a playoff space, and that is a pretty good buffer back to 3rd, which is the most important thing. I'd love to win the league, but that's the most important thing. Just got to get ourselves promoted, or else we will be sacked. But let's just quickly check in with how things have gone. It's been not a collapse by any means, but yeah, some shaky form from Villa, and they failed to win in 3, losing to Millwall and Sheffield United. They lost to Burnley recently as well. Reading, meanwhile, have also had a little bit of a blip, losing to Burnley, Luton, Aston Villa. That was an important match, but Villa winning on that one, and then drawing with Middlesbrough and losing, as I said, most recently to Cardiff. So they have faltered a little bit. We seem to have recovered. But today then, 2 games which could help us get a long way closer to promotion. First of all, we've got bottom of the table, Memory Lane derby against our former employers, Cambridge United. It's safe to say it's not going well. It's going so badly that they've actually sacked Sabri Lamouchi, who was their manager. I mean, this is on the expectation that, I mean, they were going to get relegated. They knew that was the expectation we had last season, and it's surely the expectation he had. But even still, the form has been I mean, they beat Millwall and QPR, that's good, but otherwise not great. Just 3 wins all season for them. A wretched run of form for them. They'll probably win 3-0, to be fair. That's usually how things work. They've not appointed a new permanent manager yet. We will then be playing Stoke City away from home. They're in 5th in the playoffs, in contention for that. A win there, or even a draw, would be pretty nice indeed. And we've got international football coming up, which is a bit of an issue. I mean, European qualification with Denmark, which is lovely. It's not going to be during this, is it? It's literally going to be during this. Great, okay. I've timed that brilliantly, haven't I? I mean, we could just play Cambridge and Liechtenstein, or we'll just go through both international games. I'll show you anything particularly interesting, and then we'll just go straight to the Stoke game. We'll probably do that one instead. But anyway, the point I was going to make is I don't think we're not going to have any games postponed, because have we actually got... Is it actually quite a big gap? It is quite a big gap. So we have got a full international break, which is fine. So I'm not going to tell anyone to withdraw from their squads, or am I? I'm going to tell Esposito too, because I don't want him to get injured. In fact, let's just be a horrible person and just make those two both withdraw, because I really can't afford for them to get injured. Everyone else is playing competitive games, though, senior competitive games, so we can't let them, we can't force them to withdraw. They have to take part. Well, the Arsenal job's available. Unai Emery has lasted way longer than he did in real life. What's that, 3 years longer? Aston Villa beat Sheffield Wednesday. That's a pretty good result for them, and it cuts the gap down to 5. Can we extend it, though? I mean, Cambridge, they're bottom of the league, as we've seen. Pretty disastrous form. If we can't beat them, then that would be really quite bad. Team then with a visit of our former employers: Neil Etheridge in goal, Charlie Taylor, Webster, Kaglar, Soyuncu and Pereira is the back four. Alexis Blin, Hamza Chowdhury and Dennis Pratt in midfield. Trincao on the left hand side, restored to the starting lineup. Reece Nelson is going to be on the right hand side because Keita Balde is injured. He's out for pretty much the rest of the season, I think. But his form leading up to that was pretty wretched, so I'm not massively concerned, to be honest. Nelson's done okay since he's been in there, and Esposito up front, not mentioned how many goals he's got. 22 goals in the league, 22 overall, not too bad at all. In fact, is he actually top? Is he top for goal scoring? He is, by a little bit of a margin over Patrick Bamford, who will inevitably score for us in the Stoke game. Right, let's hope for all 3 points in this one. George Maris still there, still just a devoted servant to the cause. Norville Williams still there as well, Cargill and Jones. Otherwise, it is a fully changed team from when we were there, but they are at least playing the same formation that we had success with, more or less. So, I mean, I expect nothing but a win to keep our good run going. We have been in pretty good form. They're bottom of the league. Theoretically, it should be an easy win. Can we let's just go 3-0 up early on? That would be nice. That would be nice. Reece Nelson on the ball. Back to Soyuncu. Back to Ricardo Pereira. Can we work a good early chance? That would be lovely. Blin loses out to Davenport. He's a regen. I didn't look at him really. But anyway, we get it back quickly. Trincao goes the wrong way, and it's a corner. Pratt with the corner in, looking for the head of anyone. He finds Esposito, and it's over. I mean, you would imagine, logically, Cambridge are going to be relatively defensive, but hopefully we have enough about us to break them down. We've only been winning 1-0 recently. Blin heads away from that corner, and Reece Nelson gets on his bike, looking for... He's got Esposito for company. Is he going to go himself? He is going to go himself, and Boney in the Cambridge goal just tips that around. Probably should have laid it off to Esposito, actually. 28 minutes gone, still no breakthrough, but we're working ourselves another chance here. Hopefully Blin knocks it down to Chowdhury, gets it back out to Reece Nelson. He's getting a lot of room on the right hand side. He's been fouled and it's a penalty, and I'm going to pause it. Trincao's already taken it. It came so quickly, I don't think there's any way. I really should just set it so Esposito takes all the penalties. I think it's too late. Trincao's going to take it. I can't really watch. Oh, well, he's managed to score it, not particularly convincingly, but Trincao he just bounces off the goalkeeper and ends up in the goal. Literally just aimed at the goalkeeper, and only because of the questionable saving there that it's managed to go in. They all count though, unless VAR's involved. Throw in on the right hand side a second before half time would be absolutely lovely. It's come all the way out to Alexis Blin. Charlie Taylor in absolutely acres of space, keeps it in. decides to go back to Pratt for some reason, and we're working it through the midfield. I mean, there was a ball on there to the centre, Charlie. You normally find that. Blin finds Reece Nelson. He's finding still quite a lot of room on the right-hand side. Puts it in. It's bounced down to Chowdhury. Pereira now has it. Oh, I mean, it's going all over the place in the box. Still can't actually get a decent shot on, and we've now... Well, we gave it away, we got it back. Trincao knocks it down to Esposito, and then goes wide. That wasn't particularly a key highlight, was it? Well, anyway, it's half time. We've got the lead. We are pretty much in control. Let's keep it up. I'd be much happier with another goal. That would really help things out. I mean, we could go positive, but I don't really see the point when we are leading and when we do have a relatively healthy gap back to the rest of the chasing pack in the table. We could make some substitutions as well, but we've got an international break, so I'm not really sure we necessarily need to. Pratt's not having a particularly good game, nor is Esposito. A second goal would be very nice though. Hamza Chowdhury, is he going to take it on? He's not. We're still trying to find some room. Pereira puts it across. It's come to Pratt. There's Trincao. He gets his second of the day. Bonnie, I mean, unfortunate there. Again, he's been unfortunate with both goals. I think they've both bounced off him and gone in. Ricardo Pereira, acres of space for him, flings it across. It's been a pretty good defensive performance by Cambridge, you have to say. And well, interesting animation there. Trincao gets his second though, and we have hopefully got all 3 points here. Now, time's ticking away. I'm actually going to take off Soyuncu because he's not looking particularly fit, and he is going to be on international duty with Turkey, so I don't really want him to be getting injured particularly. Same with Pratt, actually. He is in the Belgium squad, and we can't get him out of it, so let's give those boys a bit of a rest because they won't be getting one over the next 2 weeks. Trincao is on a hat-trick, and I don't want him to get hurt, so we'll take him off as well. And there we go, 2-0. Pretty routine, pretty standard. Could have been better, but I mean, it's 3 points. You absolutely can never complain about 3 points. What happened in the rest of the league? Cardiff drew, which is interesting. Reading have not played yet, so they could go back above them if their result goes their way. And Cardiff's slip-up means they're now 15 points behind us. If Reading win their game, then it'll be 14 points. I mean, it's pretty good with 6 to go. Oh, I didn't even realise. I didn't even think. But we've just relegated Cambridge. That, I mean, it was going to happen anyway. It was completely and utterly inevitable, and there was nothing they could do to save themselves. But oh, I feel really bad now. I feel like Dennis Law relegating Manchester United. I think that's an accurate reference. But we are the ones who deal the final death blow to our former employers. Hopefully they'll be all right in League One and stabilise there a bit, and then maybe they can come back. It'd be nice to see them back one day, but that's a bit of a shame that it had to be us that did it. But thank you for the memories, Cambridge. I wish you all the best, and hopefully you can get promoted straight back from League One. We, though, are going very, very well. Now, it is the international break, which I just very stupidly completely forgot about. So what we'll do, I'm going to play the 2 games with Denmark, which are against Wales and Liechtenstein, our first 2 qualifiers for Euro 2024. I'm not going to bring you all the goals because I'm hoping there's quite a few goals against Liechtenstein, if nothing else. But I will show you anything key, I'll show you the result of the Liechtenstein game, and then I'll probably bring you anything exciting that happens in the Wales game, and then we'll play Stoke. And I will tell you that Reading did win their game in hand, 2-1 against QPR, so the gap back to them is 14 points. We just had our youth intake as well, and I mean it's pretty terrible from what I can see. Craig Simpson apparently is good. He plays in a position we don't even use and doesn't look great. Right then, bit of European Championship qualification double action quick cut thing. We're going to play Liechtenstein first of all. First time we've had a Denmark match in an episode. We never ever had one Venezuela match, but Denmark I'm a bit more sort of, well, they're just a better team really, aren't they? So yeah, we'll go through these pretty quickly. This is the team then, which is the team I've mostly been using for most of the games. I mean, there's some players who would probably play, but they're a little bit injured at the moment or just sort of out of form. But anyway, Iverson's going to be in goal. He's the Birmingham City goalkeeper, Daniel Iverson, formerly a Leicester City player. So some nice continuity. Kasper Schmeichel on the bench. Jonas Knudsen's at left back, formerly of Ipswich, who's now at Toronto. Rasmus Nielsen Christensen's at right back. He is at Krasnodar. Joachim Andersen still at Lyon. Andreas Christensen still at Chelsea. It's a pretty solid defence, really. Pierre Emil Højbjerg is at Brighton, doing quite well for himself. Thomas Delaney, an excellent option. He's at Shakhtar. Christian Eriksen is at Real Madrid. Now we've convinced him to come out of international retirement. We've got Brun Larsen on the right-hand side, still at Dortmund. Robert Skov, one of my absolute favourites. Not done particularly well for me with Denmark, but he's at Arsenal now. And Kasper Dolberg is up top. He is at Watford, not kind of lacking a little bit for strikers really, but some decent options, including current Barcelona man Martin Braithwaite on the bench. He's at Toronto in this game, and probably not even contemplating the fact that he might actually play for Barcelona. Well, 8 minutes in, and we've got the lead. It's a blockbuster. It's a Robert Scott free kick. It's like I'm playing FM19 again. Brilliant stuff. I mean, he got an assist for the second one from Thomas Delaney, and now he's got himself another. It's just like old times, Robert. Just like old times. Well done, sir. I mean, if we hadn't won this game, it would be pretty disastrous, but it is going very well indeed. 6-0. Thomas Delaney just rounded off a hat-trick with an absolute thunderbolt. Excellent stuff. And there we are then, a very good performance overall. 8-0, no surprises at all, says Amanda, and I can't really disagree. It was always going to happen. But the margin of victory is pleasing. Nevertheless, Skov getting a hat-trick as well. Should actually say, really, the group that we've got is here. We've got Wales, of course, up next. But then Greece, Ireland, Moldova also in there. It's not the worst group, but it's also not the easiest. Wales, Ireland and Greece, will prove relatively tricky. I think it's not going to be easy, but I think we've got a good chance of qualifying. Apparently, the Leicester board are worried that we may leave at the end of the season when our contract expires. I'm on the lookout always for another opportunity, and but I would quite like to stay at Leicester if we do get promoted. They're the ones that can offer me a contract. I guess they're going to wait to see what happens, because it'll be a lot easier to sack me if we don't get promoted. If I'm at the end of my contract anyway. If we can get any sort of similar result against Wales here, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm not really particularly optimistic, but we're at home. This would be a good one to win as well. I'll bring you any goals that happen. Hopefully, there'll be goals for us. Very fast start for us. Very fast start indeed. Nielsen Christensen sliding the ball across to Brun Larsen, getting it back, and then Kasper Dolberg rising highest to give us the lead here against the Welsh. Very nice indeed. Pretty solid defence from Wales. They're pretty good going forwards as well. Joe Allen getting the goal for Wales, getting it back. It's coming up in a minute. There it is on the volley. Iverson, that is my main question really for the team, is the goalkeeper position, because Schmeichel's kind of declined a bit. Don't really think Iverson is particularly good, and there isn't really anyone else coming through. Well, we've dominated this one, it's fair to say. Loads and loads of chances, and finally, on the 80th minute, very questionable goalkeeping from former Leicester goalkeeper Danny Ward. 2 former Leicester goalkeepers on the pitch today, which is interesting, but Joachim Andersen heading home to give us the lead. Well, an excellent win, 2-1, a deserved win as well. We go to the top of the group at this early stage of qualification. Very good that we did beat Wales, because they're probably the strongest team left in the group, although, as said, Ireland and Greece aren't too bad either. But there we go. I'll keep you up to date with other results as they go in. I'll keep you up to date with our other results in qualification, unless for whatever reason we decide to leave Denmark if we get a better offer. But I'd certainly like to see out this qualification campaign and finally take part in an international tournament. And we get Manager of the Month as well. This is just a bumper episode. Let's hopefully end it with promotion. We can, in the Stoke match, depending on what happens elsewhere, if Reading lose, and I think probably if Cardiff lose as well, then we will get promoted. As long as we beat Stoke, which is a pretty big ask, because we're not very good at beating Stoke. So we do find ourselves in a bit of an interesting situation, really, given the points buffer back. We can get promoted if we win this one, but, well, we probably won't win this one, and then if we do, it might not be enough anyway. So we might have to come back pretty quick after this and go to one of the more recent games. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but let's play Stoke and then we'll see what happens. We could just have an extremely long episode. I mean, once I edit it out, it might not actually be that long, but anyway, Stoke, they're doing really well, but we can potentially get promoted today if you win, boys, so go out there and win. No changes, I should say, to the team that won against Cambridge, because Baldé's not yet fit enough and he probably wouldn't play anyway, but everyone else stays the same. I mean, the crazy highlight to start things off, we cut the ball out in the Stoke penalty area and we're now on the attack. Reece Nelson, Ricardo Pereira, Esposito has scored in 2 minutes into the game. It was a ridiculously good start at the Bet365. I mean, it was a Stoke defensive error that set up the chance in the first place. Pereira flicks it in, and then Esposito's there. I think the international break has done a lot of these boys the world of good. Nice and rested for the most part, and raring to go. And we're coming forwards again here. Esposito wrestling with Josh Tyman. Back to Pereira. Getting a lot of purchase on this right-hand side. Trincao can't quite get it in. Hits the post. And we've got to keep our eye on other results elsewhere. Reading, Aston Villa, Cardiff. They're the ones we're interested in. I mean, not really Aston Villa, actually. It's the Reading and Cardiff games. They will decide whether we go up today. Trincao with another excellent chance into the goalkeeper's gloves. More goals for us would certainly help our cause. Reece Nelson slides it through. Esposito's there. Is he going to go himself? He is. From an impossible angle. Esposito is second of the day and is 24th of the season. I mean, that looked like, and before the patch, that would have been into the side netting, into the goalkeeper's gloves, but it's not. He finds the angle. What a finish that is from the Italian. What a season he's had on loan for us. Can we get him back next season? That's the real question. 2-0 to the good. Excellent stuff. Could get even better here. Trincao finds Esposito. He's on his hat-trick now. Cuts inside. Goes for the shot. Not this time. Now, Reading, I think, are winning. The gap is 12 points, so it's not going to be done today, but we're doing all we can to help our cause. Adam Webster makes it 3-0 from a Dennis Pratt free kick. Excellent stuff. Towering header. Nothing the Stoke defence can do about that. 3-0. Excellent stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Reading are... did I just say I'm not happy with the performance out there? Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean that. I clicked the wrong one. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully a 3-0 buffer is good enough. Anyway, it was only Esposito that was upset. What I meant to say before I clicked the wrong option, Reading are now winning against Barnsley. It was a draw, now they're winning, so we're not going to get promoted today. Especially when I do such a stupid team talk. Stoke coming forwards, but with finishing like that, they're not going to find the target. I mean, the second half is disappearing quite rapidly. I think the advantage we gained in the first should be enough. Ricardo Pereira cuts inside. It's a weak effort from him in the end. I still can't believe I told them I wasn't happy with the performance when it was one of the best first half performances of the season. Really, really very stupid. Very, very stupid indeed. Not long to go. I mean, we keep trying to give Stoke a lifeline back into this, and they are actually performing very, very badly in the second half, are our players. All the chances really have been Stoke's for the most part, but the damage was done for them in the first half, I think, as Etheridge makes another save. And indeed, we get away with it. We get away with a dodgy second half and an absolutely terrible team talk, which made no sense. But a 3-0 win, excellent performance. Let's just do it right this time, shall we? Passionately say, I'm very pleased with the result and your performance. Esposito, passionately say, I'm proud of your dominating performance. There we go. All fine. Now, I didn't see what happened in the other games, but we have not been promoted, so clearly it was enough. A 3-0 win for us, which is sensational. Brilliant from Esposito, but not enough at this stage. But let's have a look at the table. Let's have a look at what happened elsewhere. Reading did win their game. Cardiff lost, though, which is good. Aston Villa drew, so the gap back to them, looking for the league title, is 10 points, which is not too bad at all. 14 points back are Reading. There's 15 points on the table, so you know what that means. It means we need just the 2 points to guarantee it, and our goal difference is much better than theirs, so realistically one will do the job. Now, the interesting thing is Aston Villa, because the 10-point gap is, well, it's there. If we can get 2 wins, then we will wrap up the title. This is the problem, because if we got promoted there, that would be really nice. But logically now, we need to come back for Burnley and Sheffield United straight away, because we want to see us get promoted, and we could potentially win the league title there. We could potentially win it against Preston, which means that the last 2 games are kind of just potentially meaningless. We just come back for Derby and not Forest and Derby County, then we could have mucked everything up, but potentially everything will be done by then. So I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to be sensible. We'll come back straight away in a week's time for Burnley and Sheffield United. Hopefully wrap up promotion and maybe even the title as well, and then we'll play the Preston game. A bit like 2 years ago with Cambridge, we'll play the Preston game if needs be, but it's looking very, very, very good indeed. We are doing pretty well. Everyone seems to be nice and settled. Lots of clean sheets in a row. That's very nice indeed. It's nice having Neil Etheridge back. It's very close. It's very, very close. Let's hope with 5 games to go we can do it next time. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you very, very shortly.